Hello Stampers, are you ready to go to the mountains today? My card today just reminds me of a trip we took to Gatlinburg. I just love being up in the mountains in Tennessee. So this kind of reminded me of that and I put it on paper. So here we go. We're going to start this tutorial right away. I'm going to go step by step through it, and we're going to use the trees in the Grassy Grove stamp set. The stamp set is in the mini catalog from Stampin' Up, which runs from January to June. Okay, so we got a 2 3/4 by 4 3/4 basic white piece of cardstock. And I took a double layer of Post-it notes. I have a double layer here, and out of the sticky part I die cut a 1 1/4 circle using the layering circle dies. You can certainly use a punch if you have a punch, but I just keep those dies. They're just handy and I don't have to have all those punches then. So I die cut it out of the sticky part of a double layer of Post-it notes using the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And all the dimensions for this card are down below the tutorial, down below this video. Just check and just look under Show More. You'll see all of the layering sizes and the product links that'll take you directly to my online store where you can shop from me 24/7. So I'm going to place my sun mask here. I'm going to say 1/2 inch below the top of the cardstock, and I've got the sticky part up here at the top, and then I need to rip some Post-it notes. I'm going to take I have 3 by 5 inch Post-it notes here, and one layer at a time I'm going to rip some shapes in these, just doing different little hills and valleys in them. You want them all to be different. I'm going to rip a few here to use because we got different layers and we're going to want to do different hill shapes. You don't want them all to be the same. And I think I'll do one with a nice big valley here. And I'm ripping them out of the sticky part of the Post-it note, but I'm leaving some sticky at the top here. Okay, so let's get going on this, and we're going to mask, I'm going to say half of our sun shape using the Post-it note. Maybe I'll come down a little bit more. Just make sure you have it covered all the way from one side to the other. You don't have anything showing on your card panel at the sides. Okay, let's get going with our sky. Let me get rid of all my trash here. And I'm going to start with pumpkin pie ink. And I'm going to put it all over my sky here. And that's using a blending brush, just circular motions. So there's the pumpkin pie. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to use polished pink for the bottom of my sky, just to give it a little pink tone. And you can go as dark or as light as you want with this color. Now remember that your colors are going to dry a couple shades lighter, so always go a tinge more darker than you would, that you want it to be in your finished card. So there's my polished pink. Okay, now the fun begins. We're going to remove this Post-it note. We're going to remove our sun mask. Take it off of here. And I'm going to use one of our masks here for our, to show the second layer. There's our first layer. This is our second layer we're masking. I'm going to bring in Balmy Blue. And I'm going to add Balmy Blue. Get rid of all my trash here. We're going to put Balmy Blue in this little hill shape that we have showing. This is so much fun to create these. These actually look like clouds when you're finished. If we went a little darker, they would probably look more like mountains. But these first couple of layers end up kind of looking like clouds, which is fine. I'm going to add a little bit on that bottom of that sun there, just to, there we go. And that was Balmy Blue. Okay, it's time to take off this mask. And you can keep these masks, and you know, I could use them over and over again to make more of these cards. So don't throw them away. All right, then I have another layer here. I'm not sure I like how deep that rip is, so I think I'm going to make another one, and that is entirely fine. You don't like the way one is? Just rip another Post-it note. I'm going to put some really low, tiny little hills in this one. There, I like that one much better. So there we go with that. And now I'm going to bring in Pacific Point ink. Grab my darker blue blending brush here. And I'm going to put Pacific Point on this hill shape that's showing, the white one. Okay. So you really are using kind of the tip point of this blending brush. So you really don't need to put color all over the brush, just like the top half. There, now that's fun, isn't it? Okay, so that was Pacific Point. Okay, off with this Post-it note. Maybe I can use this one now. Let's check it out. Nope, still don't like that one. Let's rip another. Okay. I want it to come down a little bit as a valley, but not as far down as that other one. There we go. And we'll put it like right here. And now we're going to come in, guess what? We're going to Blackberry Bliss. This is a beautiful purple. Here we go. And we're going to add that to our hills, of course, that are showing. It's all right if you get a little bit up in the blue. It's not going to hurt anything. I tried Rich Razzleberry and it was just too purple. I like this darker color of Blackberry Bliss. It's really pretty. And if you get a little in that blue area, just kind of blend it out. When you hardly have any ink on your brush, you can blend it in a little bit in that that Pacific Point part. Okay, so there we have it. There is our hills and clouds. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so now we're going to, well, let's stamp our trees first. I always like to put my trees in. We don't need a Post-it note for this. Okay, make sure your ink pad is well inked. This is a Memento Tuxedo Black ink pad. This is a very fine looking tree. I love this image. It's not that solid pine tree. It's kind of frilly. So I love these. But you will need a well inked ink pad for this. And I'm going to overlap that sun just a bit with this. the more layers that you get, the more depth you get in your scene. So I'm kind of layering the trees over the sun just a hair. And I'm going to stamp them just at different levels all over the panel. So there's a set. And when you do them at different levels, they don't look like little soldiers just standing there like they're all the same image. You can get a different look from them just by making them shorter and taller. Looks kind of strange right now, but wait, we got a black blending brush and Memento Tuxedo black ink still. And now it's time to get some nice black in this white area at the bottom. Okay, right now I'm just going in and I'm making a nice base coat of this all over this panel in the white area. And then you want to start getting darker and darker. I'm going to get really dark on the right and left side, and I'm going to leave some of the lightness here at the top of this black area, like that's where the sun is shining. There's a method to my madness sometimes. Sometimes that is. Sometimes I'm just batty. But I actually have a reason for that. To where I'm leaving the white. Okay. So did you see that light area in there? If you think it's too light, you can add just a hint more black in there. It's kind of fun. There we go. So there is our scene all done. And now we're ready to put our card together. And I'm going to get rid of my inky paper here. Okay, do a little hand check here, make sure I don't have some ink on my fingers. All right, so I have my card base here that's 5 by 8.5, and I have it folded in half for a quarter card. And I cut 2 of the Balmy Blue panels that are 4 by 5.25. I put one on the outside of the card and then one on the inside. Also inside I added a 3 3¾ by 5 basic white panel inside. And then I have a 3.5-inch square panel of basic white on the outside. So now I'm going to adhere my main panel onto a 2 7/8 by 4 7/8 basic white panel. So we're going to adhere that to that. I'm going to use my trusty multi-purpose glue here, but you use any adhesive you'd like. There we go. And then we're going to adhere it to the front of the card. You could pop this up too if you wanted to using Stampin' Dimensionals. I decided to leave it flat, so it's a little easier for mailing. It doesn't really take anything from it to leave it flat. And there we have it. Here's our card for today. Here's the original. And no two are going to be exactly alike, but they sure turn out pretty. All those colors going back. And you get such depth in this project. And I hope you enjoyed this project and you decided to give it a go and get inky today. Thanks for joining me. Bye.